Good morning, everyone. So this weekend I worked on drafting a corset pattern based on Christine Daae's corset, and this is what my work looks like, plotting out all of my measurements, height-wise and then length-wise. So this is my half waist measurement here, and then this is like where my side is, and yeah, I just kind of plotted out my measurements, and then I started taking a look at historical corsets from corset cutting and making, and I looked at, which one was it? This one is it. So I basically based my corset loosely on the Elsie corset in this book, and kind of looking at the gridded chart that they have here. But I didn't use the same amount of gores that they did in this because I'm trying to recreate the look of Christine's corset, and her gussets or gores are placed a little bit differently than that one. So this is the corset pattern that I ended up with. I took out an inch in the waist here, so this corset should only reduce my waist by 2 inches. So it's not a high reduction corset. It's very tame, and I am going to have a small gore here, a longer gore here, and then we're going to have 2 hip gores here. When I do cut out this back piece, I am going to cut out probably an extra inch or so. That'll be folded in, and it'll create more sturdiness where I'm going to be sewing eyelets in the back. And I'm probably going to have to extend the center front a little bit because I'm going to be using hook and eyes like Christine's corset had. And for it to overlap, I'll probably need to add a little extra to the center fronts. But I think for now, I might just work on cutting out the back piece here, because I feel like that would be doable right now. I don't have my hook and eye tape yet. That's coming in the mail. But I think I could cut out the back piece with a little extra where the eyelets will be, and then when it's folded in, I'm going to cover that raw edge with twill tape, which I ordered and should be coming in the mail this week. So I think I'll work on back pieces and inserting gores there. And these are what my gores look like. This is the short bust gore, this is the long bust gore, and then this is the hip gores. Okay, and this is the fabric that I picked out at Joann's that I will be using for the corset. So the strength layer is going to be this duck canvas, and then the fashion layer is this silk, polyester silk that feels really smooth and it kind of feels nice. So I'm going to use this for the fashion layer, and I will be treating these 2 layers as one. I just feel like that's going to be the easiest, and I think maybe I can adjust the corset better as we go by just making it 1 layer. We'll see. Alright, so these are the back pieces of the corset. The edge where this line is will be turned in for where the eyelets will go. So this is the duck canvas layer, and I'll actually have the writing facing the inside of the corset. That way I don't risk having markings show through the satin layer there, because I'm not sure how see-through that might be. But I think it'll help if I have the writing facing the inside. So this is what it looks like so far. So the satin is very light and shifty, so I'm definitely going to be basting these pieces together probably a lot. So I have basted the 2 layers together, and I also turned in the back edge for the center back, and then later on when I get my twill tape, I'll probably cover this edge with twill tape. So I sewed down the back edge of the corset, and along these edges I will probably sew in some flat steels when I move on to boning, but I think I might work on cutting out the hip gores and inserting them into this. It took a lot of finagling, but I did get one gore pinned, and now I'm going to try to sew it. So it was very finicky, but I did get the gore in. It's not the most even sewn in gore ever, but I think it's fine. I'm gonna try to work on this one now. It is the next morning now. Yesterday I finished the 2 back panels, and I did some strengthening stitches at the top of the gores, and then also added a little bit of a silver embroidery thread just to add a little something. It isn't necessarily accurate to Christine's corset, but after I did the white reinforcing flossing stitches, I went ahead and did a couple lines of silver. And then just now I cut out the duck canvas layer of the front slash side pieces. This is cut all in one. These are hip gores, and then these are 2 bust gores. And then I have the line marked for the waist. Now I need to cut it out of the silky fabric for the outside. I have extra fabric at the center front because I am going to be making, putting in a strip of hooks and eyes, and it's going to need to overlap a bit, but I didn't want to figure out the overlapping quite yet. I'm gonna, I think, insert the gores, and when I get the hook and eye tape, then I'll figure out how much it needs to overlap to have it fully closed in the front. So it is time to make this side of the corset look a bit more like this one. So I'm going to sew a little line just anchoring the edge in place along the center front, and I'm going to sew the back piece to the front piece, front/side piece. I have that pinned, and I just need to sew those two areas, and then I will move forward. So my lacing came in, and I did 26 grommets. The only problem is I can't seem to get the lacing through these grommets. The only thing I could use to get the lacing through the holes, that would be big enough to put the lacing, pull the lacing through, was this plastic needle. None of the other needles were wide enough to fit this through. And now when I try to go through using this as my bodkin, it doesn't fit through these grommets. And I used these tiny grommets because I did not have enough of this size grommets. And now I'm thinking maybe I should have waited and just until I could get this size, but I've already done 26 grommets here. I do have some thin satin lacing. I might see, it should fit through, but it just won't be as nice for lacing a corset, but I'll see if it works. So it doesn't have as nice of like a grip as the other lacing would have, but I'm gonna see if I have 9 yards of this that I can cut and see if I can get it through. This should be small enough that it should go through. It just won't be ideal for the lacing in the back. Oh yeah, before this video ends, I'm going to add that there should be a collaboration of other costumers who have made Phantom of the Opera things. So I'm going to link a playlist in my description. Oh, my hair's a mess. Yeah, so I'm going to try to see if I can find a link for that and put it in the description so you can check out other YouTube channels that have made Phantom of the Opera things. My cat is meowing at me. No. Okay, bye.